Welcome to This is Digital, a podcast brought to you by West Monroe. Join us as we talk to leading experts about bringing the digital mindset to your organization.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to This is Digital. For today's episode, we're walking back through some of the best moments of Season 3. Over the episodes this season, we've talked to so many great guests and experts, both inside and outside of West Monroe, about what it means to be digital, how digital shows up in our personal and professional lives, and lessons learned on the journey to become more digital. One of my favorite moments on the podcast was chatting with Ekta Chopra, who is the Chief Digital Officer at e.l.f. Beauty. And e.l.f. Beauty recently received the highest relevance rating for all Super Bowl ads with the recent big game. So kudos to e.l.f. Beauty, and certainly the unprecedented growth that e.l.f. Beauty is experiencing can be tied back to bringing a digital mindset to everything that they do and their focus on being a digital native. With that being said, let's take a look back at Season 3 and enjoy some of the best moments of the season together. We had a glamorous start to the season by talking with Ekta Chopra of e.l.f. Beauty on how e.l.f. has worked to differentiate as a digitally native brand. Let's revisit our conversation and hear a little bit about what tactics e.l.f. Beauty has used on social media in order to stand out. But as a digitally native brand, how does that make you different from competitors?
I would say that, we often talk about that. And I think it goes back to the concept I told you about. We don't have big budgets. What we do have is this ability to move fast, right? So if you think of eyes, lips first, the origin of that really is that we want to be the first one. We want to make the headlines. The headlines really help us sort of get into spaces that people are just not even thinking about yet, or they're reluctant or hesitant to go there. And a great example of that was TikTok. TikTok is this big thing now, but when it was just getting started, we were the first brand to test and learn. We did a campaign, it gave us some insights, and we were like, there's something there, and our community is there. So why aren't we there? And we invested further. And the next thing you know, we are 5 times TikTok billionaire. And there's a reason for that. We don't dwell, we don't have red tape.
The beauty industry isn't the only one that's using digital to disrupt the traditional industry norms. Don White, CEO and co-founder of Satisfy Labs, said this about the fan experience.
So we said, hey, I want to create a personalized experience for a fan or someone attending a Taylor Swift concert. There's 40,000 of them. There are maybe 100 to 150 employees in the arena. How does that work? It's like a waiter who is waiting tables and has 10 tables. So there was no way for a human to provide this level of service. Only an AI could. So the people that helped us train it to actually emulate what they would do if they could clone or replicate 50 or 1,000 of their best employees, that was really what curated the product and what people are interested in. The fan expectation gets higher every year. Like in the first year, it was, I'm content with food and ticketing help and things like that. Now it's like, what time is this concert 2 days before? And what time is this person going on? Is Taylor Swift going to make an appearance?
Looking at it from an EV perspective, Tyson Jominy, Vice President, Data and Analytics at J.D. Power, talked more on if EVs can be considered digital products. Tyson, based on our conversation so far, is it fair to say that EVs are digital products?
I would say they are supposed to be. They should be digital products. They want to be. It's sort of like, Michelangelo carving out the David statue from within the clay or within the marble is always there. We have to bring it out. Tesla has really proven that EVs are very digital products because it's not just about the technology. We know at West Monroe, the definition of digital extends far beyond the technology itself to include the way of thinking and have it embedded in your processes. And we really see that with how Tesla brought their EVs to market. Just something as common now as OTA, over-the-air updates for their vehicles, it was so groundbreaking. And when you talk about, you wake up in the morning and your vehicle will have updated overnight, and you could potentially have more range, more capabilities, more speed, more features that you didn't have yesterday. So your vehicle is constantly evolving.
We heard such unique perspectives across every industry on how digital transformation is being leveraged to advance their companies and consumer experiences. The healthcare industry in particular has an opportunity to use digital to help engage customers. Listen here to Sarah Vaezi, EVP, Chief Strategy and Digital Officer with Providence. Here she talks about the latest healthcare digital adoption.
So any flywheel, and this is not a new concept in many other industries, but this is something that I do think we are just now starting to adopt within the context of healthcare. So any flywheel is sort of a model that keeps folks coming back. In healthcare, it's a bit more complicated because we're not just trying to get people to consume care delivery services. We need to start thinking about people much more holistically beyond the 2 times per year that they need a clinical care in a clinical care setting. They also need maybe to refill their medication, and that doesn't require them coming in to visit with their doctor. They might have a curiosity about some seasonal sort of sickness that's going around. They might need to be vaccinated. There's all sorts of things that we can do. And they might need over-the-counter medication. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, right? And so we got to know users in the healthcare context to be able to build a flywheel around them.
Setting customers up for long-term success is twofold, according to Nick Mehta, CEO at Gainsight. Listen to him explain how he helps clients make the case for customer success.
That how do you think about the business case, or how do you sell this internally to help people see the value that customer success programs and technologies bring to the fore?
There's the strategic case and then the business case, right? And I think the business case, from my experience, has like 2 parts to it. There's I would call it the mind and the heart. So the mind is typically like, hey, we have a financial metrics, right? We're trying to improve our ability to retain existing clients and retain the dollars they're spending with us. We want to sell more to them, right? And we want to do it in a scalable, cost-effective way. Those are the 3 that we hear a lot. Then there's the heart. It's like, okay, what's our long-term success for our business? Well, the long-term success is about having a differentiated, sticky business long-term, right? Well, how do we differentiate? And the truth is, like, first of all, customer expectations are now a much more modern post-sale journey, right? And a lot, even in our business, we see, why do people buy? It's the experience. And so you start thinking, what's our long-term success for our new products or new opportunities? It's the experience. And so to summarize, then you start with the strategic corporate initiative. You kind of have these like metrics that are financial, and then you have this long-term vision of like differentiating through experience.
Enterprise software also plays a role in impacting growth opportunities for businesses. Scott Craybill, managing partner of Thoma Bravo, and Eric Brown, senior partner at West Monroe, touched on the trends they are seeing shaping the landscape today.
What trends do you see shaping enterprise software and its landscape today? And how are these impacting growth opportunities in your businesses?
Yeah, well, if you allow me to look backward a little bit, that would help. And the big trend that has been driving our market, and I think continues to drive our market, really, started 10, 12 years ago, which was the advent of cloud delivery capabilities for software, and the SaaS, or the subscription business model that kind of went alongside of that cloud delivery. And that's done a number of things. First, it's lowered the total cost of ownership of software for customers. The customer doesn't have to buy the software up front, so they can rent it. So less of a capital outlay up front. They can buy it out of the operating budget rather than buying it out of the capital budget, which makes it easier. They don't have to install it on the customer side. It's installed by the software vendor up in the cloud. They don't have to upgrade to a new version every time a new version is just pushed out to them. And what that's done is really opened up the digital revolution in all of these business sectors, and opened up the ability to automate smaller and smaller and more business processes, and enabled these old world companies to become technology businesses in many ways.
The digital revolution is upon us. AI continued to be a hot topic this year, and our guests have had some great points of wisdom to share with our listeners. In fact, we love this topic so much we created a mini-series that focused on AI. Listen to our This is Digital and This is AI crossover episode.
And she said one of the more pragmatic approaches to what we did that she appreciated was just talking about starting with the use case first, the need. How do we look at value? And then let's figure out what AI can offer given that use case, given that business need. So it was really kind of turning around from the buzz, starting with the buzz, to figuring out what business problems the buzz is applicable in.
AI has already woven its way into the workforce, but Curtis Dubé, chief economist at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, predicted this about AI at work this year.
The way I see them doing it is with capital investment. But going forward, that's going to be technology. That's going to be AI and new advances in technology. So there's lots of different examples, but I'm seeing that white collar is going to matter. So you're going to, instead of having a team of research assistants or assistants, you're going to rely on your AI. You're going to need your AI to draft your emails for you, to do some of the other scheduling, kind of the things that are replicable in your job that AI could reliably do 80, 90% for you. That's certainly going to happen. Lawyers, a lot of paralegal work is going to be done. A lot of case studying is going to be done with AI. So it's going to matter. It's going to matter for white collar, but it's also going to matter for blue collar. It's going to matter for service jobs. So I use the example of hotel workers. So hotels have had a really hard time getting workers for a long time now. Going forward, they're going to have to figure out how to do it with fewer workers permanently.
I'm looking forward to seeing if his predictions come true. What a great season 3 of This is Digital. As we wrap up each season, I love having the opportunity to look back on the lessons and shared wisdom from each of our guests. I hope you enjoyed this season as much as I did, and you have found inspiration for yourself, for your team, and for your company. Thank you for all the support this season. Thank you for listening. You already know we're working hard behind the scenes to have a bigger and better season 4 this spring.
Thanks for listening to This is Digital. If you enjoyed today's show, please follow or subscribe on your preferred podcast app. And don't forget to leave us a review. For more information on This is Digital, visit westmonroe.com/thisisdigital.